Hello everyone. Today we will be presenting our final project about plastic bottle manufacturing industry process. And our group consists of 4 people, which includes my friend Baihaqi Hakim, Firman Nur Faadhilillah, Rakan Thariq Sofyan, and Farhan Assidiqi. Next. What is a plastic bottle manufacturing industry? Operators in this industry manufacture a range of bottles from various plastic compounds based on their end use. The plastic materials are then melted in an oven and molded into a bottle shape according to the requirements. And these bottles are then sold to beverage, food, and chemical manufacturers to use as packaging for drinks, soft drinks, milk, condiments, household, and automotive chemicals. Next. What types of materials are used? The main material used to manufacture bottles is polyethylene terephthalate, which is in the form of resins. Other type are polyethylene terephthalate plastic, high density polyethylene plastic, poly, polyphenol chloride plastic, and propylene plastic. Next. So here are polyethylene terephthalate used for food and drink packaging purposes due to its strong ability to prevent oxygen from getting in and spoiling the product inside. And then we have polyphenol chloride or PVC. And PVC is considered as the most hazardous plastic. Therefore, PVC is typically used in toys, blister wrap, cling wrap, detergent bottle, blood bags, medicine tubing, and loose leaf binders. Next. And then we have high density polyethylene. It has long, virtually unbranched polymer chains, which makes them really dense and thus stronger and thicker. And it is used for medicine bottle, shampoo bottles, and juice container, and so on. And then we have polypropylene, which is stiffer and more resistant to heat, and it is used for hot food container, car parts, disposable diaper, and sanitary pad liners. Next.
Okay, so now this is the manufacturing process diagram of plastic bottles. So the first part, the first step is the supplier, which resin distributed and delivered, and then the resin received in raw materials warehouse. After that, the reception registered in purchasing and suppliers paid. Then the resin is sent to plastic packaging production warehouse. The containers shredded by an operator. Then the resin and shredded containers fed into receiver hopper. After that, we oven for fabricating plastic containers, and then we cut the bottles. Then we verify the point for container leaks, and then we do the manual inspection, and then we do a packing of plastic bottles. Then we ship the finished product warehouse, and then we transport of bottles to the client. We deliver it to the client, then collections. So how the manufacturing process works? To understand the manufacturing process, it is helpful to first examine the compositions of the materials they're made from. Usually, plastic bottles are formed through molding, although there are several techniques, including reheat and blow molding and etc. What is the control loop process? The control loop process is used to control the manufacturing process of the plastic bottle in the factory. It is mainly used in the production of the plastic bottles in the oven to control temperature for the molding process of the plastic bottle and during the inspection phase of the bottling process. It is important to ensure that the plastic bottles pass the inspection phase, which can then be exported to clients.
So the control loop of the manufacturing process. Basically, this is the process to create the plastic bottle mold inside the oven. The temperature requires to be controlled to avoid defects during the manufacturing of the process. So as we can see here, there is a set point, there is a temperature controller, there is a temperature control valve, there is a oven temperature control, and then for the output, it's controlled oven temperature. There is also a temperature transmitter to give feedback control. And this is the control loop of the controlled bottle pressure. So the following is the control loop process of a controlled bottle pressure. It is used to ensure that there are no leaks in the plastic bottles. So as we can see here, there is a pressure controller, there is an actuator, pressure valve, bottle pressure control. It outputs controlled bottle pressure to ensure that the bottles that we produce doesn't have any defects and avoids any disturbances in the production line. There is also a pressure sensor to give back feedback control to the whole production line. And as for the control loop of the molding process, as we can see here, there is a preset, there is a PID controller, fuzzy interface, nonlinear compensation germ, stopper rod position controller, servo motor, continuous casting process. All these things output molded plastic bottles, the thing that we're trying to produce. There is also a mold lever sensor. It is used to measure the value of the control loop of the molding process.
Okay, so next I'll be presenting our plastic bottle manufacturing system in the program CX Programmer. So this is what it roughly looks like. Next. And this is the continuation of the program. As you can see here, the system that we use is that we mainly use a timer process for the molding. So this is necessary because it needs the right amount of time for the plastic to be molded, and then it will be kept within that shape, so it will keep the plastic bottle shape once it's molded. So next, after this, I will be presenting the CX Programmer to show the simulation. Next. Okay. Okay, here is the CX Programmer created of our manufacturing system. So I'll explain this shortly, but before that I will run a quick simulation. Okay, it's loading. Okay, as you can see, the green lines in here in the PLC programming is that the system is on. So here in the first step, we can see the start and stop as well as the latch. So once the start is turned on, it will turn on the latch. So here we will turn it on, force, and then turn it on. So once this turns the latch on, this latch output here is linked to the latch here. Because they are linked, it will also turn on, which turns on the supply for the raw plastic. Afterwards, the raw plastic here is linked to the raw plastic input here, which also turns on the temperature as well as the melting temp, as well as the actuator melting. So this will turn on the melting for the actuator. So basically this will turn on in the oven process for the plastic bottle. And as you can see, once the plastic has been inputted into the melting process, there's a certain timer here. So here we have set it to 10 seconds for the plastic resin to melt completely. After the plastic has been melted, it will be transported through a motor conveyor. So with the motor conveyor, it will turn on the pressing sensor. So here, the melted plastic will go through a conveyor and it will enter a mold. Once it enters a mold, it will get pressed down by a robotic arm thing. So it will be pressed down for 1 second, and then afterwards, the same process will happen, but the first one was to press down, but then the second one is to press up. So it will press down on the mold for 1 second, and then it will go back up again for 1 second. which is then where the plastic bottle will be formed and be made. So this is the PLC program for our manufacturing bottle, and that's it for our simulation. And there's no errors so far, as you can see here in the bottom left. There's 0 errors and 0 warnings, so the system works completely. So I think that's it from our group for the plastic bottle manufacturing system. We apologize if there is any mistakes or problems, and thank you for paying attention.